Happy Thursday tips time, mighty pals. So, Meatloaf sings about how he will do anything for love, but he won't do that. Have we always wondered what on earth is the that he won't do? And I'm sure there's tons of speculation on the internet about what is it he won't do. I'm pretty sure the answer is that it's not marketing, but I feel like sometimes that whole thing about I will do anything, but I won't do that is true for business owners. For business owners, online solopreneurs, because I've been hearing the same question from folks, and I've written about this even for years, that they will do most things for their passion, for their business, but they don't want to do one thing. They don't want to do marketing. So why? Why do we think that is? And I asked in the group, and you can either leave me a comment here on the video or go to the post inside the Mighty Marketing Mojo Facebook group where I asked, truly honestly, I'm asking, what do you think marketing means? What does that word mean to you? And I've asked this in my other clients and I've asked this in other niches because I've gotten questions and comments, and like I ask people what's the main thing they're stuck on. If you join the Mighty Marketing Mojo Facebook group, you're going to get some questions and I want to know what's going on with you. And some of the top things that have been said to me are, but I don't like marketing. I know I have to do it, but I don't want to do it. Where do I even start? If I'm figuring it out, what does marketing mean for my online business? How do I keep up with marketing? Or, and I love this quote, can marketing be more enjoyable and not a big time suck? I certainly hope so. I hope all of our businesses are more enjoyable. But I've also mentioned lately that if we're not actually doing and taking certain actions in our business, and I believe we can do them in 30 minutes a day and make it consistent and a habit, and woohoo, it's like brushing your teeth and eating breakfast. Good habits, taking a walk, stretching, meditating, marketing, that it keeps the businesses and going and that it doesn't have to suck and it doesn't have to be a time suck. So some of the questions for my pals who've said, my mighty pals who are like, oh my God, I hate marketing. Marketing is like, I hate that word. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You all can sing Meatloaf. I'm not going to sing Meatloaf. So the question is, are you focusing on the connection to sales? And do you have the idea in your head that you have to push, push, push to make a sale? That marketing and therefore sales are like every stereotypical car salesman. And it doesn't have to be that way. Heck, a lot of car sales have changed and are not like that. Buy cars online these days, they deliver them. Are you worried it's all about having to do discovery calls and selling people into a program on a call? Ick. I don't like the phone. Ick. But it doesn't have to be that either. And no one wants to be pushed. No one's going to have to push or be pushed into something that they aren't sure about, that they don't know if they need, and they're not sure of how if it helps them. And if your discovery calls are going like that, then something's going wrong. And there are people who can help you do better calls, but it shouldn't be icky for either of the people on the conversation. And maybe you're thinking marketing is all about posting a zillion times on social media or having to be an influencer. God, I hate that word and that entire concept. And we are not skinny millennials who are influencing people to buy diet drinks and health products. And it's all marketing, it's sales. They just don't want to call it that because they have a problem with the word too. And we're just going to buy it because the skinny white girl who's 20 on Instagram says do it. No, come on. And look, social media absolutely can help your business. But it also only works if you're okay showing up on social authentically, uniquely, consistently, and you're bringing those people back to your home base. Website, email list, email list, email list. So the other question is it that you want to do marketing because marketing seems overly complicated? Because you're thinking it's funnels and lots of different landing pages and freebies and email series and sales pages and video sales letters and upsells and cross sells and bumps and OTOs, that's one-time offers, and emails after emails and launch, launch, launch. God, that made me tired when I thought about it and when I wrote it for the notes here. And I'm tired saying it. And yes, we've all seen a lot of people doing that. And we're supposing that it's working for them. Is it? And is it they're working because they have teams and that they spend a lot of time learning how to make all of those things work, and all of the years and the flops and the failures and the launches where it didn't work? And yes, it involves tech and it involves money. And to some degree, you have to already have the business before the funnel makes sense. And the funnels only make sense if your message and your offer is nailed down and you got the right people coming in the funnel. And I don't like the word funnel. I'm going to get up on a stand in a soapbox, and you've heard me say it, and I said it like last summer, 2 years ago, and apparently I'm going to say it again. I'm about circles, not funnels. But they don't always work, and especially when they're overdone and they're overpushed and they're overhyped. Well, then yes, that notion of marketing feels scammy and scummy and icky for everybody involved, and you do not have to do it that way. Do I think we can potentially have paths that our customers are on, ways to get into our circles, and can we have multiple free gifts and multiple offers? Yes. But if you're thinking you, as a startup, as an online business owner who is just getting out there, has to have all of those pieces in place first, here's your permission slip. Cut that shit out. Stop that. What if marketing was simpler than that? As my biz coach and my mastermind leader and my friend Kelly says, what if it were easy? I don't have the mug in front of me, but I do have a mug that literally says that. We made the mug. What if marketing were more about listening than talking? A lot more listening versus talking. What if we think about marketing as a process, that path along which we are helping different people who have different needs at different times? It is not a single event. It is not just the Super Bowl. So, a funny story there, actually. For those who don't know, my first career when I was a baby pup, I was an advertising executive in New York and then later in Philadelphia. And I worked on, alongside of some huge name projects, the agency that I worked with was the one who developed Miller Lite's Taste Great, Less Filling, M&M's Melt in Your Mouth, Not in Your Hands, uh, Army Be All That You Can Be. We were steeped in big time strategy and planning, and it was not fly by the seat of your pants when you're dealing with Miller and M&M's and Benadryl and Dentyne and some of my brands. And so Benadryl didn't have as much money as when Claritin was first coming out and spending, $20 million a year in advertising. And Claritin was on the spray and pray method of marketing, a lot like what we see a lot of folks doing off online now. They're just going to saturate the airwaves, including back then they were commercials that you didn't even know what the hell the product was for. It was just a song and blue skies, and apparently you're just going to go running off to your doctor to say, what the hell is Claritin? I must have it because it's ubiquitous. That's not how marketing works, folks. So we were more strategic, and we were about providing value and information to allergy sufferers. And now think about it, folks. If you have allergies, and I do, everything that's green and fuzzy outside makes me sneeze. So I understood this category really well. But if you also understand allergies, then for most people, it's not something that hits them the same way every day. If you're allergic to things that are green and grass and weeds, then you don't have a problem in January or November. You have a problem during allergy season, and that kind of changes depending upon rain and wind and sun and where we are in the country. And we paid for data and research that basically went out and started tracking pollen. Where was the pollen at different points in the United States? Where was stuff blooming and all the green grass fuzzy stuff out on everybody's cars? And that it was in different parts of the country at different times during the spring and the summer. And we partnered with doctors and doctor's office. When were they getting visits for allergy suffering? It didn't make sense for us to spray and pray. We didn't have $20 million. Our budget was $50 million. It was less. It was still millions. So we made sure that our ads, the magazine ads, the newspaper ads, but particularly the radio and TV ads, showed up in the markets where people had allergies. So if somebody was suffering more in Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky in April, we ran the ads in April in Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky, and not in New Jersey, Georgia, Florida, or Montana. And then when things shifted in those other parts of the country, money in the ad shifted. The reminder of, we have a solution for your problem. Here it is. Here's the benefits. Here's what it's going to do for you, was in front of the right people with the right message at the right time. And if the big boys can do it, then so can we. The point was that we were also about connecting people who had a problem with a solution and the right information at the right time. This was 20 some odd years before content marketing, and inbound marketing changed a lot of things. But we can still approach things more strategically. You're trying to help certain people at certain times with certain problems, and not the entirety of all of Facebook. So what if marketing was more about that value and helping people to make a connection to a solution and telling a story while we did it? And yes, if Benadryl can do this in 1997, then we can sure do it now, because we have more tools and they're a lot more affordable and they're available to all of us as online business owners now. And what if marketing begins and ends with your ideal customer in mind? Not you, not me, not my customers, yours. Do you really know what makes your favorite people tick? I've got some favorite fans. They're probably watching here right now. If not, then Fran's going to come and watch later, and Pam will watch later, and Claudette will watch later, and I might catch Renee later. And I've been around and we've talked, we've had conversations, so I kind of get what makes them tick, because I'm doing that listening thing. This whole video today was because I've been listening, honestly, for years to what people are telling me they're having issues with. And what have you heard them tell you? And what are they not saying? What are they not talking about? And if they're not talking about the problems that your product solves, then we may need to rethink things. But what questions do they ask? Even when they're not asking you directly, when they're asking in other groups, in other forums, in other lists, on TikTok, wherever. And that's another problem. Where are they? But what gets them excited also? What's bringing them joy? And what are they excited about? Where are they hanging out? What do they need? And what do they want? And what do you have? What's an offer that you have that helps them get to one of those needs or wants? And it could be something that somebody else has. This was a revelation for me in the late fall and the winter, that it doesn't make sense for me to build a membership program with tons of trainings and new content every month. I have smart friends who've already created those and whose brains think like mine. Instead of me creating a membership and competing with Cindy Badar, I'd much rather send you to Cindy Badar's six-figure systems. I'd rather have you take the next step, potentially, and join Jennifer Dunham in the Profitable Lifestyle Inner Circle. I'd rather have you join me in my mastermind in Momentum Coaching Monthly with Kelly. There's other ways that we can help put the right offer and the right solution in front of somebody at the right time. Part of that is about shifting out of a mindset, and I'm not a mindset coach. Pam, I hope you're watching at some point. You may have people to help, because I'm not the mindset coach. I'm the tech coach. I'm about how to do the stuff. But I recognize years ago when I was reteaching and relearning marketing after I'd done a decade of other things, including grad schools part 1 and 2, that we needed a shift in our marketing mindset. That no matter what we were doing, what roles we had, and this is especially true for my nonprofit clients, thinking about our clients first, that it was about know, like, and trust. How are we building awareness and trust today? And now about stories. I mentioned stories. Well, why did I mention stories? Well, humans are hardwired since caveman days to want stories. Stories can carry an emotional punch. Does your content have the same emotional punch? You may have noticed, if you're with me for any while, and you maybe got into this video because you've read one of my emails, I tell stories. I share behind the scenes. There's my picture there. I share pictures that I'm trying to build, know, like, and trust, and with an emotional connection as well. Because if you're sharing your own stories, your behind the scenes journeys, your clients' stories, your clients' journeys, there's emotions involved there, and that's going to get you faster to the know, like, and trust, which is critical. It's like, did we forget somewhere along the line with everything that's digital and everything that's online and websites and apps and Zooms and social media and emails, that there's a human being on the other end that we are connecting with? Stories and emotions connect us. They're also easier to tell. It's a lot easier to sit and write a little story before we go into an email and a little story in a video than it is to sit here and figure out research and stats or fancy copywriting. And I'll even tell you that, most copywriting hacks and tricks also play on emotion and stories. People remember us if we share stories that have emotional punches. People will remember a website, a social post, and an email that makes them laugh, that makes them cry, that gets them fired up. People react and they remember. It's memorable. I've had comments today even. I split tested today's email, and part of it was a much more direct allusion to Meatloaf's song lyric. And yes, I've gotten replies and even people telling me that they were singing the song. Probably didn't hurt when I put the Meatloaf gif in the email. But those stories, guess what, folks? That's marketing. That's the way that marketing was taught in terms of strategic thinking when I was 25 years ago, and in the last 10 with the push in content marketing. It is the future of marketing. Marketing does not have to be pushing. It does not have to be icky. It doesn't have to be oily, and it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be any of those things. We're talking about building a relationship, which is know, like, trust, KLT. And KLT has to come before try, buy, and repeat. Especially for any of you who are in my mighty circle and you are a coach and a service provider. If you're a story coach like Karen, a stepmom coach like Claudette, a parenting coach like Renee, a business and mindset coach like Pam, you're a wellness and fitness coach, a marketing coach, a website coach, people are going to sign up to your list. People are going to read your blog posts. They're going to keep reading your emails, and they're going to click the buy buttons because they know and trust you, not your logo. Screw the logos. It's you. When we connect and people see the value that we bring, when they see the results that they have with us, and we share and talk about those results in stories, then they are damn sure more likely to buy again. They're going to recommend us. They're going to share our stories and their content. They're going to like and they're going to comment, and more people are going to know about us. And that's word of mouth marketing. And word of mouth marketing doesn't happen by accident. It sure as hell doesn't have to. It shouldn't. It should be intentional. And it is just one piece of the overall marketing plan. It's not the only piece. It's not the only authentic piece, which is another one of those misconceptions that I hear a lot from service business solopreneurs. They're like, well, I don't need to do marketing. I have word of mouth. Well, what happens when you're not talking and nobody else continues to talk about you and the mouth runs dry? You better hope you have some word of mouth and online. And you can build it in systemically. It's a system. It's a system. Yeah. So be passionate about what you do. Be passionate about who you serve and the impact you're making. And then make sure you're telling people about that. When you're sharing the stories of your clients, when you're talking about the results that they get, then other people see themselves in that and they want that. And they want to work with you because they see how those connections come together, and that's marketing. Your personality is in your marketing concept. There is only you, only one you. Erica is who's behind Moms on the Grow and telling people to take themselves off the mom shelf. Somebody else isn't going to bring that same juice to that. They can't. They're not you. Your people want you. They want the stories, they want the emotional punch, and they don't want us to sound like encyclopedias, even though I have a tendency to do that. And that is why education-based marketing, content marketing, is what I embrace, what I teach, what I preach, and it's what every major corporation, organization, and website has been going to over the last 10 years. Because again, nobody wants to feel like they've been sold. They want to feel valued. They want to feel educated. They want to be part of the marketing process. They want you to meet them where they are. And yeah, they're going to go out there and they're going to research and they're going to look for you and they're going to find you and they're going to read your websites. And it's going to be so much better when all of their questions and their objections are already met, because they've already seen that content that you've created and they feel like they know you. Because here's the other truth: it doesn't work like Field of Dreams. If we build it, people will not just magically come James Earl Jones. No, we have to give them directions and signposts. Which means, if you think of it in no other instance, marketing is strategic storytelling and sharing. You can't write the story and just let it sit there. You have to share it. If you've done great work with parents and you did the webinar, share it. Tell other people about it. There are other people who need what it is that you do, and it is actually a disservice to them if you keep hiding it. And there's one of the biggest, hardest lessons of online business that I've had to learn as an introvert. We cannot hide behind the computer screen. You cannot hide behind the computer screen and cross your fingers and hope that someone is going to do a drive-by and hit the buy button. We're not ice cream parlors on the beach in July who can just open the doors, people walk in and buy ice cream. And even then, people didn't just magically show up. There's a reason the ice cream parlor is on the boardwalk near the beach. It's part of their marketing, and it's because where their audience is hanging out. And it's also why that ice cream parlor probably has another store in town and sells their pints in the local grocery stores, because, hello, January. And only my husband's off buying ice cream in January. So, marketing mindset tips. Think daily in terms of stories. What can you do in your 30 minutes? Is it crafting a story? Is it editing something? Is it behind the scenes? How can it be incorporated in a social post, in an email, a video, a blog post, reaching out one-on-one to past customers? What's the story that connects the needs of your audience and what your business needs are this quarter? This is the don't throw things against the wall and fly by the seat of your pants rule, but it's okay to still be somewhat spontaneous. When you know your message and you know your people and you know your offers inside and out, you know the benefits and results that you bring, then it is really easy to have those conversations. It's not a discovery call where you're selling somebody, then you're telling them and letting them make the decision, because it's going to be really obvious based on your results and your confidence that those are the people who want to work with you because they want the same thing. And that means there are always opportunities to provide that extra information, that extra value, to take the relationship further and tell them how you can help them with your paid offers. Don't forget that part. Simple is best. Walk before you run. That was something I've reiterated a lot in the 3 videos that I recorded that are in a new video training that I did about how to get set up in email marketing. Whole bunch of people grabbing on and opting into that training right now. And it's going to be in the new training on email marketing automation mojo. You got to walk before you run. The world's best athletes started as kindergartners chasing the ball around the soccer field all in a just clump before they become Carly Lloyd and the U.S. women's national soccer team and gold medal winners. We seem to be trying to jump our way right to the major leagues here, folks. Walk first. Figure out your message, what resonates, what gets people converting on a good, steady basis before you decide to complicate it with funnels and OTOs and upsells out the whiz wang. No, have an offer and get it in front of people and make sure it's the right offer. Simple is best. You do not have to use every single marketing tactic and channel and social media tool and platform that is out there. And if fear is what's ruling the mindset, I get it. But it's time to hit refresh and restart. You owe it to your users, to your clients, to your community, to show how you connect and help each other and how you both can be more successful. Showing them how to get to that more successful, whatever that transformation is marketing, strategic storytelling, and sharing. When you put them first, and when you think about emotion and story and sharing, you have marketing, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be something that you and Meatloaf are both going to sing about how you don't want to do it. What you don't want to do is waste your time. What you don't want to do is spend time on social media where you're not seeing any return on your investments. And what it is that we don't want to do is have awkward conversations via Zoom and phone calls. So don't. Share a story, build trust, and be you. So I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know more about what you think marketing is. And after this video, now what do you think marketing is? And does it feel easier? Does it feel like this is something you can? And so here's the irony. There might be comments over here in the Facebook group, but StreamYard isn't showing them to me. So I'm going to have to go and check in on comments that are happening and chat back with you. You can leave me a comment in the Facebook group. You can leave a comment on the post that's all green and cool looking in terms of what you think marketing is. Let's have that conversation. Let's have a conversation and let's figure out what it is that simplifies things for you so that you're going out there and you're actually making offers and having clients and connections and conversations, and we're not hiding behind our computer screens. All right, go out there and find your mojo with the rest of this week. Bye, folks.